Hello and welcome to week 9. This week we're going to talk about moving from the research brief to the research proposal. The research proposal has the following key components. The most important thing is to set the background and the context, using your experience in the area, if you have any, and learnings from the annotated bibliography which we've done, readings and so on. Then we outline the research objective or the research question, and we discuss the reasons that we've chosen this research objective. Number 3 is to outline the potential sample of research participants for consideration, and this is a key part of the research study because the potential participants must be able to be contacted, and we must be fairly confident that we'll be able to get them to participate in the study. And we also need to outline the nature of the sample, such as in users or lapsed users of a service, or just general community, or younger people, older people, and so on. And then we outline the research methodology, and in this we include the rationale for choosing this methodology, we outline the sample, we discuss the methodological approach, such as if we're going to be doing face-to-face surveys, or telephone surveys, or online research, or whatever it may be, the advantages of this method and the potential difficulties, if any, and followed by a little bit about analysis and reporting. Next, we look at any requirements for stimulus material, and that could include things like samples or information, photographs, scenarios, and so on. Number 6 is timing, how long it will take to fully design the study, to recruit the participants, to get it in the field, conduct the research, to analyse the findings and to report them, and the cost details. Then we outline the benefits of the research, the potential benefits to the audience and to the client group and to the organisation sponsoring the study. And finally, give some information on your credentials for conducting the project, any experience you may have in the area, and so on. What makes an excellent proposal? Well, firstly, it must be relevant to the research objectives and to the potential participants, and relative to the times. It must be timely. It must be affordable and achievable within budget, and also realistic in terms of the goals and outcomes that we've set for the study. And the most important thing is it must be capable of answering the research question that we've set for it. In the next 3 slides, I've given some examples of a potential research objective or research question, and 3 different potential approaches we could use to achieve this. And the first one is to promote understanding of the nature and extent of elder abuse within the community. And approach number 1 could potentially be to gain a measure of general community understanding of the prevalence and the impact of elder abuse. Approach number 2 may be to explore public reaction to potential ways of addressing this issue. And number 3 could be to provide community input into a local government elder abuse awareness campaign, including key messages that could be used in the campaign. Our second research objective here relates to increasing awareness of and propensity to use a not-for-profit emergency food bank service. And 3 separate approaches are given. The first one is to explore awareness and understanding of the product or service amongst the community. Number 2 could be to examine current user and potential user responses to existing and to proposed features of the service. And number 3, to develop a communications or promotional campaign for the service. And the third research objective here is to understand the factors leading to youth homelessness. And the approaches are given on the right-hand side here. And number 1, to gauge the prevalence of youth homelessness, and we've given 15 to 24 years as an age bracket, but that's subject to interpretation and change. To gauge the prevalence of youth homelessness in the local government community, including demographic and other socio-demographic composition. Or number 2, to conduct an in-depth investigation of the homelessness experience amongst at-risk and homeless youth aged 15 to 24. Now you'll see that number 1 is obviously calling for a quantitative research approach because it's measuring things, And number 2 is investigating. So it's more of a qualitative research approach for approach number 2. And number 3, which would potentially also be qualitative, but it could be a mixture of qualitative and quantitative research, is to explore the various scenarios that we've come up with and to determine their relative impact on the homeless outcome amongst young people. These are just thought starters to let you know how we go about dealing with a research objective and finding the best approach to address that objective. And it's a thought starter for you to start thinking about how you're going to write your research proposal and define the objectives and the approach. And finally, so what have we talked about? Well, we talked about what needs to be covered in your research proposal. And the first thing I'd like you to do is to write the background statement and to discuss the context. Very important to set the context for a study. And use the learnings from your annotated bibliography as far as you can. Then state the research question. Outline the proposed methodology and look at some possible desired outcomes and goals for the study. Make sure you include full timing and cost details, and finally write something about yourself, your credentials or experience for conducting this research. And good luck with it.